Thanks for downloading this show from PC One. Before we get rolling, here's a word from one of the folks who helped bring you this podcast. The following program is a PodcastOne.com production. From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I'm coming to you from the mean streets of Los Angeles, California today. I'm coming to you from 317 Gimmick Street. Sitting at my podcast table, got a table full of junk. Laptop computer with my reeds. Zoom H4n recorder. I'm sitting here with the Shure SM58 microphone. I got a Pearl Beer neon clock in a second hand. It's spinning around like a rotisserie chicken. We're burning precious time here. It's time to get this podcast done. Turn it in to Stacy to edit this damn thing, put it together. Holy smokes. You know what? I'm going to have to change this Tuesday show to an Unleashed show, too. I just like doing an Unleashed show because I can talk a little bit better with some salt and pepper in my words. The English language is, hello, Hershey the Wonder Dog. Come on in. Boy, Hershey's happy as a lark. I just got finished feeding her, Moolah, and Callie over there at 316 Gimmick Street. All right, Hershey, stop breathing so loud. You're messing up the quality of the podcast. Rub it on her head. Go lay down, girl. You old relic. Good girl. All right, Hershey, go lay down. Good girl. Go over and lay down on the carpet. Yeah, make yourself at home. There you go. She's rolling around all over the place. Anyway, god dang, I sure like being able to use some four-letter words in the form of salt and pepper on the sentences that I use. But nonetheless, I digress. Back to the opening of this podcast. Holy smokes, man. I went out the other day and shot some guns with Lynn Thompson down there at Cold Steel at their shooting range. Had a good time. Busted out a couple of new guns that I'd bought. Man, I'll tell you what, for not shooting in about 6 months, I was hitting pretty decent. Always room for improvement. But I had a good time, and it's fun to finally just get out there and pop a few rounds and shoot some steel targets. And we were shooting a 10-inch plate at 108 yards was the distance. I don't know why it was 108, but it was 108 nonetheless. And then we had some close-up silhouette stuff that we were running 9s and 45 semis on. But it was fun shooting with Lynn. He had a 454 out there. I guess it was a Casal 8-inch barrel on that thing. Shooting open sights at 108 yards is pretty challenging. I was fortunate enough to hit the 10-inch plate a few times, not quite as many as Lynn, but he's used to shooting that gun. And I'll tell you what, man, you talk about some kick and some firepower. Holy smokes, that thing will rock your hand. And came back from the shooting range, and my wife and I had started rewatching season 2 of Bloodline. We rewatched the entire season 2 so we could remember everything that was going on so we could jump right on season 3. And man, it's just like when we watched The Walking Dead back in the day. We watched it all over again, and we watched Breaking Bad all over again. And you pick up things that you missed. And hell, half the stuff that happened on Bloodline season 2 I'd forgotten. So that was great. And then right now, as I record this podcast, we're into episode 5 of season 3. And a lot of people are very disappointed with season 3. So far, I have not been. It's been a little crazier. Holy smokes. I don't want to give any spoilers away to anybody that's thinking about watching it, but certainly this season is starting to shift into a different direction. It's, I guess the show has evolved. It's kind of changing pace. Holy smokes, what a train wreck the Rayburn family is. Again, no spoilers. A train wreck doesn't mean anything to you, but it's caught me by surprise. I think there was a lot of people on my Twitter account that weren't very impressed with the last 2 episodes. I will make that judgment call when I get there. I'm not there yet, but I'm still enjoying the ride. And god dang, the stuff that's going on with that family is just unbelievable. So I'm enjoying it. I'm right in the middle of season 3. And it's just a shame, man, because I don't know where it's going to go yet because I haven't seen the finish of season 3. But, man, that was a damn good show, and I heard they shut it down. And, man, when you look at the cast of that thing, I guess, I don't know why they have to shut it down because, Breaking Bad made it as long as it did. And then Walking Dead made it as long as it did. But, man, I guess all these actors and Kyle Chandler and these guys got to go their separate ways to do their other projects. But it's been a fun ride so far. it will be interesting to get to the end of this season, but I'll tell you one thing, season 3 has been, it's been pretty riveting so far. I'm digging it. And, man, I'll tell you what, that show is pretty damn addictive. That's, if you've watched it, you know what I mean. And, those first 2 seasons, a lot of people say, it's too slow. And it starts off a little slow, but, man, they just really rope you in, and I'm hanging on every single episode. So we're right in the middle of that. Everything is going good. And training for the Broken Skull Challenge. Broken Skull Challenge coming up. I keep telling you about this because I want to give you guys and you gals plenty of time to apply if you haven't already. Man, we're running out of time. They're casting this thing. And if you want to be a part of the Broken Skull Challenge, it's the baddest, toughest, coolest show on television, bar none. We ain't Bloodline, we ain't Breaking Bad, we ain't The Walking Dead. We're talking about the baddest athletes in the United States of America coming out to a mountain in a desert in Agua Dulce, California, working their way through 3 rounds of competition to earn a shot, EARN, earn a shot at my obstacle course called the Skull Buster. That Skull Buster will chip away at every piece of your body, your mental fiber, your entire makeup. If you're sitting around and you hear my voice and you've been thinking about it, you've been on the edge, hey man, take a plunge, come on out. It's a long-ass day at the office. It's a long-ass process to jump through all the hoops and the bells and whistles, exams, interviews, all the weeding out process. The week need not apply because you won't survive. But if you think you can and you want a challenge, I got plenty of them for you. We're out in Agua Dulce, California, starting sometime in middle-late July. We will be filming. This show will probably make air. Hello, Callie. This show will probably make air, I'm guessing, sometime around September on CMT. We'll start covering that when it gets time to promote that. But nonetheless, if you want a challenge, I got one for you. Come out to the Broken Skull Challenge. Go to CMT.com and find out how you can apply. Hey, I want to give a shout-out to Kawasaki. I just got finished filming a couple of videos or commercial spots for those guys featuring the Kawasaki Mule Pro FXR, the whole entire Mule line, the Pro FX, the Pro FXT, the new Pro FXR. Sporty, badass, cool. I had a lot of fun out there doing that. We filmed those things over the course of 3 days. I think they will be airing on probably the Kawasaki website. It was just a cool opportunity to go out and do that. I'm going to post them on my website. Hopefully by tomorrow. The new unit is really cool. That whole FX line, the whole Mule line is. I remember buying my first Kawasaki Mule back in 1998. And I believe they were invented by Kawasaki, if I'm not wrong, in about 88 is when production came out. So maybe they were invented a little bit before then, but I believe 88 was the first year model you could buy. When I had 118 acres out there on 46 West in Bernie, Texas, I had my first Kawasaki Mule. And then after I sold that place, after living there for several years, got out of the ranch business. And when I bought the Broken Skull Ranch, I was riding a different brand, and then I tried out the new Kawasaki Mule Pro FX, FXT series, and those things just blew me away. Fun, reliable, hardworking, strong. End of story. They're badass, they perform, and they will keep you out of the shop and in the field doing work or playing whatever you want to do. Not sorry, I'm trying to give a plug here, but I'm proud to be a part of those commercials. Check them out if you see them, and send me an email over to questions@steveaustonshow.com if I can answer any questions for you. Hey, man, on today's podcast, I'm shooting the breeze, talking with my illustrious wife, Kristen. We just went on a vacation, or tried to take a vacation down there in the Santa Barbara area, and ended up in Montecito. Montecito is kind of an exclusive area, to say the least. Everybody over there, I'm sure there's some regular folks over there, but there's a lot of people with a lot of money over there. Oprah Winfrey lives there. Dennis Miller lives there. I think Ellen DeGeneres has a place over there, among many others. My wife and I just wanted a little getaway to get out of town after, completing this remodel and all this other stuff that we've had going on. And also to kind of take a trip and get away from the dogs just for 2 days. Y'all know our dogs, man. They're just like our damn kids. I tell you what, that Cali, you talk about a damn challenge. Whew. Holy smokes. We was trying to watch episode 5 of Bloodline last night, and I don't know what she ate, but all of a sudden she starts doing that thing. You know that thing that those dogs do when their stomach starts contracting and they're about to puke everywhere? Holy smokes, that little dog probably weighs 20 pounds, and I guarantee you about 15 pounds of puke came out of her. I don't know what she ate, but it smelled bad. It smelled real bad. And it was right at the climax of the Bloodline episode 5. I hit the pause button. I said, oh my God. I just went over in the kitchen, grabbed the whole damn thing of Bounty paper towels, picked that thing up, went over there with a couple paper plates. I've already got my technique down. And just started scooping and raking up all that damn puke, not trying to be gross, all over our goddamn rug. Cleaned up the puke, finished Bloodline episode 5. Almost want to start another episode, but we had to go to sleep. But anyway, we took a break to get away from the dogs. We went on a vacation. I told my wife we're going to just take it easy, go down there and relax, have a couple cocktails, and enjoy a real nice resort. And my wife is going to join me. I don't know how relaxing it was. It seemed like it was over just as soon as it started. There were some headaches, hassles, and stuff with the accommodations, the amenities there at the resort. Although it was world class, there were some things that needed improvement. My wife, Kristen, is going to join me here on the podcast, and we're going to break it down and shoot the breeze. It's actually a pretty damn good story. There's some high spots in there, some good stuff that happened. I talk about wrestling all the time. I talk to wrestlers. I talk to people about all kinds of stuff, but sometimes I just like shooting the breeze and telling stories, and that's what I got coming for you today. I think it's pretty damn good. But before we get to the body of the podcast with my wife, Father's Day is just around the corner, and it's this Sunday, actually. And in honor of all the dads out there, my buddy Diamond Dallas Page is having a Father's Day sale on DDP Yoga. You could get 20% off the DDP Yoga Now app, the DDP Yoga DVDs, and all the DDP Yoga swag like T-shirts, mats, heart monitors, all that stuff. Just go to ddpyoga.com/Austin to take advantage of this sale. And Dallas dropped some more 411 on me. He's taking DDP Yoga on the road. So if you want to see the program in action for yourself, you can join Dallas at one of his in-person DDP Yoga workshops. He's got one scheduled for Worcester, Mass. on June 23rd. Just go to ddpyogaworkshops.com to find out where in the world DDP will be next. And if he ain't going to be near you anytime soon, then get yourself the DDP Yoga Now app for your smartphone and do some live workouts from the DDP Yoga Performance Center in Georgia. You can access them right from your phone or tablet. It's that easy. And the app has all kinds of cool features to help you live a healthier life. It's got nutrition tips and cooking shows, and will even help you monitor your progress. So get on the path to healthier living now with the DDP Yoga program. And like I said, take advantage of Dallas's Father's Day sale. 20% off the DDP Yoga Now app, the DDP Yoga DVDs, and all the DDP Yoga-related merch. Just go to ddpyoga.com/Austin. That's ddpyoga.com/Austin. Change your life. Start today. Everybody's got a to-do list. Drop off the dry cleaning, pick up some milk. Here's an idea. Let's save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. And the good thing is you don't have to drop off or pick up anything. All you have to do is go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. Extra money in your pocket? It just may be the most rewarding to-do you do today.
The Steve Austin Show. The Steve Austin Show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. I'm sitting here at my podcast table watching this second hand spin around like a rotisserie chicken, waiting on my wife to show up. I think I hear her coming through the door along with 3 dogs, Hershey, Moolah, and Callie. My special guest has just arrived. My wonderful wife, Kristen, got a cup of tea. I got some coffee over here. I need a kick in the ass for some energy. How you doing? You just got smoked in traffic. How was it?
I'm exhausted.
How was your day? Trying to take care of your mother, running errands and getting groceries and stuff. What was that all about?
There's just no way to make 50 miles any closer because you have to add on the extra hour for traffic. So It was one of those days.
Man, I tell you what, that's one thing that I just been kind of in this concrete jungle that is Los Angeles. I've been telling you, I'm just getting the fever to find the Broken Skull Ranch 2.0 because we just tried to take a little mini vacation, which we're about to get into. I've written out about the first half of the vacation. I don't know how we're going to do this, Kristen. We're just going to kind of wing through it, I guess, and kind of relay our experience and tell our story. But before we get to that, man, I'm starting to think about that ranch now, and when I get on my Kawasaki mule and I get out there and I just ride around, there's just something about the magic of South Texas, that brush country. And I know it's too far.
Yep.
I don't regret selling it.
Okay.
let me just get it out there. I don't regret selling it. It's 1,500 miles. It just
Yeah.
got to be too much down there in South Texas, and I love Texas, and I'm born and raised there. We'll find something closer, but my point is we got to find some kind of escape valve from this city because I got to be outdoors more than I've been. I've been
We have a
cooped
beautiful
up.
backyard.
Man, that backyard, our lot that our house is on is 8,000 feet. There are a lot of people in Beverly Hills and Bel Air and all these places. They got 8,000 square foot houses.
Right.
Our yard is 8,000 square feet. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people in New York City or wherever it is in an apartment. They ain't got a yard. So we got that. But God dang, when you used to being able to go out there and let your hair down on 2,000 acres, and get all the work out of the way.
You let your hair down?
I'm trying to let my hair down. When we used to go down there, because we're going to get into our vacation in a minute, we ain't taken a vacation in 7 years since
At
we went
least.
down to Napa Valley.
Right.
And before that, in
And
the
I
10
put
years,
pink stripes on the white truck.
we'll talk about that. But in the 10 years that we owned a Broken Skull Ranch, that was my destination place, which became our destination place. And you always want to go to Hawaii or Mexico, and I kept telling you, now we're going down the ranch. I'd love to be there. Man, I tell you what, when you get down there, you jump on a mower, a tractor, a push mower, a weed eater, a chainsaw, a push broom, a vacuum cleaner.
I think you've discussed this a number of times.
I know. I'm just saying. We don't take vacations. Every time we went somewhere, there was work entailed on it.
Right.
So we finally decided after all the contractors, after all the BS and all the remodeling, we just get out of here and hire someone to watch our dogs so that you and I could just escape. And you decided that we would go to an area called Santa Barbara, specifically Montecito.
Right.
Lots of, what's the word, affluential people, affluent. I don't know if affluential is a word.
It sounds good, though.
Affluent is the word. People, a lot of damn dough. Oprah Winfrey got a crib up there. Dennis Miller got a crib up there. I think Ellen DeGeneres has a crib up there. It's just a beautiful area.
It is.
And real estate's higher than the hell out here on the West Coast. But anyway, so it's a nice area, and you found this nice retreat, and I said, hey, man, it all sounds good to me. Let's go do it. And then we got your friend lined up on the dog feeding protocol. I wanted to leave out of here at about 11 o'clock because I was timing this whole trip in my head. We left out at 11:30. So, of course, on my schedule, it's supposed to be our vacation. I'm already running late. And because your mother lives in Thousand Oaks, where you just came from, and we're going to stop by and see her,
Right.
bring her some groceries, visit, have a little chit-chat, and then ride off in Sunset, get back on our way.
Right.
And, man, I tell you what, we didn't get 10 blocks down the road, and we got cut off bigger than Dallas by a Chevy Volt, whipped right in front of the Range Rover, 5 feet to spare, not one blinker, person's on her iPhone, and I'm already irate. I'm thinking, man, we just starting this journey. Welcome to the show, Hershey the Wonder Dog. She joined me on the open. She's joining us on the body of the show.
She breathes so loud.
I know it. That goddamn Chevy Volt cut us off, and I was like, you son of a buck. And you had a good one. Seeing that it was a hybrid car, you said,
Go plug yourself in. That's so stupid.
I was like, oh, it was great. The timing of the delivery was spot on. I popped big time. And then we kept riding down Washington Boulevard. We're trying to jump on the 405 so I can get up to highway speed. And there, right there on the right-hand side of the road, is this guy riding a bicycle, and he's teaching his kid how to ride a bicycle. The kid had training wheels on his bicycle. He's weebling, wobbling all over the damn road. He didn't have a helmet on. I think there's a law these days for your kids, you got to have a helmet on.
Right.
At Washington Boulevard, for all you people in all different parts of the world that listen to this damn show, ain't no walk in the park. The speed limit is 30 or 35 miles an hour. I drive it damn near every day, but people drive up and down that damn road 50, 60 miles an hour, people texting, people putting on makeup, people making deliveries in big-ass trucks. No one's paying attention.
No.
You don't want to teach your kid how to ride a damn bicycle on Washington Boulevard. At least I know in a perfect world, not everybody can just say, hey, you know what? We're going to put the old bicycle and my bicycle in the pickup truck, go down to the park or just a parking lot.
And we have a lot of parks here, though, too. So
Okay, but, in a perfect world, that'd be the thing to do.
Right.
But this ain't Mayberry. This is Los Angeles. Pick a damn easier going street than Washington Boulevard to teach a kid how to ride something. I mean, unless you're trying to get rid of the kid.
I just figured they were trying to teach the kid how to wave in and out of traffic, maybe. That was the point of the lesson.
It's real interesting to me because I grew up in Edna, Texas. The population was about 5,332. That's what it used to say on the population sign, and it hadn't grown much since then. And we grew up riding around just a small town, little blocks. And growing up here in Los Angeles, it's a whole different animal. And I would cringe. I have a bicycle. You have a bicycle.
But we won't get on because people are texting and you just never know if you're going to get popped from behind.
Man, I spent some money putting that damn mountain bike together, and I thought I was going to ride the hell out of it. And I didn't.
We did for a little while.
We did for a little while, and it just got old. But then all these damn idiots started driving around. I'm just over the bicycle thing.
Yeah, me too.
I got my little scooter. I don't even ride my little scooter anymore. They're going to put that thing up for sale. That's
You
a whole
need
other
to.
story for a whole other podcast. God dang it, that damn thing. I'll probably just drain the oil out of it and keep it so I got something to talk about.
You can put it in the living room of your new podcast studio.
Yeah, hey, there's my little scooter. It's a real conversation piece.
Yeah.
Well, so what did you think about our vacation? We get up, we take off, get cut off by the Chevy Volt, go plug yourself in. The dude trying to teach his kid how to ride a bicycle on Washington Boulevard would jump on a highway. And because there's two people in the car, man, I'm in heaven. I get a chance to get over in the HOV lane. High occupancy vehicle. If you get over there and with one person, you will get a fine. And some people used to use dummies. And they would get pulled over because they wanted to use the HOV lane to haul ass. I get over that HOV lane, I am hauling ass. And I told my wife before we got on this vacation, before we went, I said, hey, you know what? Here's how it's going to go down. I'm just going to take my time because my wife has been riding back and forth with me from Texas for 10 years. And we haul ass and I run radar.
Well, you don't take your time anywhere. That's what drives me insane.
What do you mean?
If we're just going to the grocery store, you're in a hurry, and it's literally half a block away, and you're driving like a lunatic to get to the grocery store.
I remind myself of that old Alabama song, I'm in a hurry to get things done. I rush and wasn't until life's no fun. I don't even know what I'm in a hurry for. It's
I
the
have
point of
no
the Alabama
idea.
song, but I am. Type A like a mug. You're about halfway type A, but not like wound up like me.
No, well, I can relax when I drive because I'm never in a hurry. I just take my time because I know unless, like today, I had to rush home and I had to rush my mom to a doctor's appointment. So, I hot-footed it and, exceeded the speed limit on a few trials, but...
Exceeded the speed limit? Good one. But here's the thing. When I'm in a hurry, I'm relaxed.
You're not relaxed.
Yeah, I am.
You're always in a hurry and you're not relaxed.
To me, I'm relaxed. Now, I did a podcast a long time ago where I kind of had this come to Jesus meeting at that restaurant in Agua Dulce when they're playing the Italian or the French music in the background and my cell phone didn't work and I just had this epiphany of relaxation. That was a shoot. I really did learn how to relax.
It lasted for about one day.
I know, but Kristen, when I'm behind the wheel of an automobile, an SUV or whatever, I love driving, so I just like to, I don't drive fast. I drive, I'm a very safe driver.
You drive fast.
I'm in a hurry. So anyway, back to the thing. So I'm riding an HOV lane. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm doing 90. Swig of coffee. My wife looks over at me, sees the speedometer.
I said, really? We're not in a hurry.
I said, I'm only going 90. And so I said, okay, I'll slow her down. So I put it on 87. My wife looks at the damn speedometer and flatly says,
really?
Really, meaning she doesn't want to really go 97. And
I just
really,
feel more comfortable driving 65, 70.
Yeah, but there's no point in jumping in the HOV lane if you're going to drive 65 or 70. So, like, if you got a bunch of people in your car, just get in one of the other lanes if you ain't interested in going fast. But if you're interested in hauling ass, that's when I think you ought to be in the HOV lane.
But we were on vacation, so we didn't need to hurry to go anywhere.
True, you're right. But since we were 30 minutes late, I figured I was trying to make up that time for you to get you to the resort/hotel so that you could more sooner enjoy the experience than later. See, it was all about you. I was thinking about you when I was speeding down that HOV lane, baby.
Well, then I had to decompress. It took me an hour to decompress once we got there, so I wasted a whole hour.
Man, and then we had to stop and talk to your mom, and I was worried about stopping and talking to your mom because, I mean, I love your mom, as you do.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take her some groceries, some victuals, stuff like that. We did, and do a little chit-chat. So I always wondered about, when's the opportune time to pull the plug, to make that say, well, it's about time to get on the road and get back on our trip. Because if you do it too soon, then you didn't stay long enough.
Right. And it doesn't qualify as a visit.
Doesn't qualify as a visit.
Yeah.
You come in and throw some groceries down. Well, we got to go. Because they feel like crap because they inconvenienced you by you having to stop there. So I'm thinking, okay, what's that magic time? I don't want to just, because sometimes when you do it too soon, it's clunky and it's awkward. It's like, that didn't feel good.
Well, when you usually sit at the table and take your phone out, I realize it's time to go.
Well, we're pretty good at giving each other signals now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times here's a story for you. Every year since we bought the ranch, we would go down to Edna, Texas, and visit my folks. Or my dad would come up for deer season or whatever.
Right.
He was hunting at the ranch. But times we'd be down at Edna, we would always want to leave at 3:30 p.m. And the reason you leave Edna to go back to the Broken Skull Ranch at 3:30 p.m. is because it gets dark promptly at 6:30.
Right.
I mean, lights out dark. And we like to be in the gate and at the ranch with the dogs by that time, because usually Ted Fowler 361 has been watching the dogs. And normally it always ends up that my dad has this way of making you stay a little bit longer. And here's the thing about it. When my dad, who's about type A as me, is on a time factor schedule, when he says he's going to leave at a certain time, he leaves. So I said,
he'll leave without even saying goodbye.
Oh, yeah. What his deal is at the ranch, he'll come down there and hunt his ass off and have fun with his buddies. But we all know that at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, Dad's going to be in the wind, headed out that gate with his remote control and on the highway.
Right.
I told Kristen, I said, all right, it's past Christmas. I said, man, every time we end up getting out here late, Dad's singing his Christmas carols. Man, I grew up, I've been listening to my dad play guitar and sing songs for over 40 years. And I love my dad, and I loved listening to him sing and play. And they were singing Christmas carols. Jenny was helping in, and so was my brother Jeff.
And they passed out the sheet music for us to sing along.
Yep. And I love listening to country western music when my dad and Jenny and Jeff play it. But I ain't a Christmas carol guy.
Right.
Christmas is cool. I'm just not a Christmas carol guy. And so he always wants to bust out that guitar at about 3 o'clock, 3:15. And so I'm thinking, boy, she's getting real close. And so we're going to have to pull a Hank. That means get out of Dodge to make our on-time departure. And so I look over at Kristen and, just kind of give it a signal. And we think, well, Steve, how do you give her a signal? Do you give her the head nod or make a hand signal? No,
you usually do the hand signal.
No, it ain't like a hand signal. It ain't like I'm like a manager telling the baseball player at bat what to do while he's up there batting, or the catcher telling the pitcher how to throw the pitch. It's nothing like that. I can just look at Kristen and look down at my watch, or just something very innocuous that no one else would see. And that's kind of the heads up that I'm about to make the real go-home call.
But it was in mid-song.
Mid-song. It don't matter. I told you we was going to leave. All of a sudden, I looked at Kristen, and because we've been together so long, we almost can read each other's mind, and there's that little signal. And, hey, man, she starts picking her stuff up. I'm picking my stuff up. My dad starts strumming the guitar a little bit faster, trying to finish that Christmas carol.
And a little bit louder.
A little bit louder. And he puts the pedal to the metal. And, hell, man, by that time.
He sounded like Metallica by the end of the...
Yeah, he'd play Metallica, so hell, by the time. But here's what happened. We left out of there promptly at 3:30.
We did.
So, it's just about making that call. And anyway, I love my dad. I love my brother and sister, my whole family. We're so fortunate that everybody's still around. But when it's time to go, it's time to go. So I didn't want to be clunky and say, okay, Marlene, it's time for us to haul ass.
She got it. She knew we were on vacation.
And so we jumped back on the road.
Yep.
And there we were, heading over to Montecito.
We were already in Santa Barbara, like within 20 minutes.
I know, we got there pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so we rolled into this, like a 5-star resort?
It's a 5-star resort, yeah. It's beautiful up there.
Okay, now here's the thing: a 5-star resort. We rolled into this place. The compound was cool.
Because we were too much in a hurry to stop to eat something, so you rush to the hotel to get something to eat, and lo and behold, all their restaurants are closed.
I'm glad you said that, because we check in, and guess what? I asked, okay, well, where's the restaurant at, and what are the hours? No, I didn't even ask what the hours are. I said, where's the restaurant at? She goes, well, there's 2 restaurants, but they're closed right now. And this is at 2:15.
Yeah.
And they open at 5, and the other one opens at 6. And I'm like, well, I'm hungry now. What am I supposed to do? Is anybody here can make me a sandwich? And she says, well, you can go into town. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm just thinking to myself, she's talking, and she's a very nice lady, and it's a very nice resort.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how can you be a 4-star resort or a 5-star resort if you ain't got a kitchen 24/7, 365? And at least, because I left everything in your hands, I assumed, which we both know, you never assume anything.
Right.
You know the rest of that deal.
Right, yeah.
So I should have got on the website and seen for myself, because I never asked you.
Well, you can order room service, but we hadn't checked into our room, and we didn't want to order room service because,
yeah, that's going to be a 30, 45-minute
Right,
process for
right.
them to heat up the grill to get anything cooked.
Right.
So, for me, if you ain't got a restaurant open at a place that was as expensive as that, at least when I stay at a place, I at least make sure that the kitchen opens at 6 a.m. and they're open till at least 12 a.m. That's not asking too much. I prefer 24/7, but these days 6 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Right.
I don't think that's asking much. So then I got to knock a star off just for that.
But we did get referred to a very nice restaurant that we both enjoyed.
And here's the thing about this: they referred us to a restaurant called the Honor Bar. Well, when I see or hear the Honor Bar, I'm thinking, well, it's a bar. It doesn't say nothing about no restaurant, and I love a bar. But when it's 2:15, I don't need to just get stone cold drunk. I want to eat. So she sends us to this Honor Bar, and I'm real bad about names. I'll give you a story real quick. Swig of this coffee. Way back in about 1990, 1991, a movie with Kevin Costner came out called Dances with Wolves. And I remember when that movie came out, because they made a big deal about it, a lot of advertising and stuff like that, and I just started in the business of pro wrestling. I was 25, I might have been 26. I was tough as nails, and I didn't have time for no movie called Dancing with Wolves. I thought that was the dumbest sounding name for a movie I'd ever heard. Dances with Wolves. What in the world could that be about? So I boycotted the movie. I ain't gonna see no movie called Dancing with Wolves. Well, many years later, back when Blockbuster was still around, half of you people don't even know what Blockbuster is, rolled into Blockbuster to rent a movie, look around, I got hundreds of movies up. Couldn't find nothing. So I figured, all right, I'll rent this stupid movie called Dances with Wolves. Well, 15 minutes in, I was in hook, line, and sinker. Kevin Costner, and the lady that plays Stands with the Fist,
I'm trying to
Kicking
figure out how
Bird.
this fits in with our story.
Oh, what? Just because I'm just going by when Dancing with Wolves came out, the name of the movie sounded so stupid to
okay.
me. Me being such a tough guy,
Right.
I was judging a book by its cover. So anyway, after I watched the movie, I've probably seen Dances with Wolves at least 10 or 12 times since then. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
So you can't judge anything, can't judge a
Gotcha.
book by its cover. We roll into the Honor Bar. We sit down. Very nice people. I look over on the shelf. Hey, we're on vacation. It's only about 2:30 now, but I'm ready for a cocktail.
Yeah.
Only one because I'm driving and we
Right.
want to wait till the evening before we start having a drink. But one would be real nice. And I see that they have a bottle of Blanton's bourbon whiskey from Kentucky. Happens to be one of my favorite whiskeys. I said, hey, y'all got the big ice cubes? The guy said, yeah. I said, I have a Blanton's on a big rock. I said, holy smokes. The guy went and got one. What'd you have? You had some kind of wine?
Pinot.
You had a Pinot. Had a real nice Pinot, right?
Yes.
It was wonderful. So then the lady comes to the table. She says, you guys ready to order? And I said, man, should I get the calamari or the chicken meatballs? She goes, the meatballs are out of this world. I said, are they really? And she said, yeah. And she wasn't lying. They were flat out awesome. And then I had a hamburger, protein style, with no bread, just a cheeseburger wedged between a couple of pieces of lettuce. And it was phenomenal. So if you're in Montecito and you stop by the Honor Bar, go in and definitely grab something to eat because they got some really, really good food.
And I had a very good vegetarian sandwich.
Oh, man, that sandwich was so damn good. I could have ate one of those.
Yeah, I know.
Because I ate the insides out of the parts that you couldn't eat. Man, that was a damn good sandwich.
It was very good.
Here's the deal. Here's the downside to the Honor Bar. The next day we went back.
Oh, yeah.
And we were just driving around town. We were going to go antique shopping.
That's a whole nother story.
With all due respect to the antique shops in Montecito, them ain't antiques. Those are objects. Antiques are old. I ain't seen nothing past about a 1970 model. There was a brass skull laying on one of them damn antique stores. It looked like it come off a bedpost.
It's called a finial.
Or whatever it's called, a finial skull. A skull as a bedpost. I said, I took it up to the lady. I said, how much for the skull? She goes, I'll have to call the owner. I think it was just a piece of decoration.
Right.
And then we left Kristen's phone number. A lady calls and she said,
4 hours later they called.
The skull has been sold. That skull ain't been sold. It was a decoration.
I know.
It was the only thing in the store that I wanted to buy. So anyway, after our antique shopping spree, and I'll tell you what, if you go to Montecito, what was that, Montecito?
Yeah.
God dang, man, they got a hell of a parking system over there. You got a row over here for parking, and then you got the street. And I was getting smoked in traffic. I didn't know where to crap or wind my watch as far as regards to parking. Remember when I got so clustered?
Yeah, I don't know. You get confused.
No, I wasn't confused. Everybody was smoking me because of the parking situation, because it wasn't straight up parking. Anyway, here's the story. So,
it was a new driving situation.
It was a new driving situation. So it's noon, so we figured, you know what? Let's go ahead and get something to eat while we're in town. The restaurants at the World Class Resort aren't open, so we'll go back to, guess what? The Honor Bar. Well, it's about noon.
Well, we had driven through Santa Barbara, and that was a little bit stressful. We were working up a thirst.
Yeah.
Somehow
Santa
we
Barbara
always
put
do
us over
that.
the top. Santa Barbara was not what I remembered.
Right.
We went shopping when I first met you way back in Santa Barbara back in the day.
Right.
And we had a pretty good time, and it was cool. But then, I mean, not to just dump all over Santa Barbara.
It just wasn't what we were feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it was really busy.
Yeah, it
Maybe
was
it was
busy.
tourist season, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to get out amongst all those people, and all the shopping was kind of like mall-like.
So we ended up getting in the wrong areas, kind of got lost a little bit, which was fine because we were not in any hurry. And we worked up a real big thirst for
So we want a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
So we end up at the Honor Bar. So if it's called a Honor Bar, they ought to have anything that you want to drink. Hell, they had Blanton's whiskey. You can't find that hardly anywhere.
Right.
And we sat down at the order and said, you know what? I sure would like a Bloody Mary. And the guy looks right at me and says, well, got the bad news for you. We ain't got no Bloody Mary mix. My jaw almost hit the floor. If it would have hit the floor, it'd put a crack in it. I said, are you kidding me? He goes, no, we don't have any Bloody Mary mix. I said, yeah.
Can't they go get some?
Yeah. You ain't got a liquor store, 7-Eleven, anything around here to go get some Bloody Mary mix? Can't you just make some from scratch? I make a pretty damn good Bloody Mary by scratch.
We could have used the marinara sauce in your chicken meatballs to make a Bloody Mary.
You could have for a shoot. And so then the girl comes back to the table, and I said, y'all don't have any? Had to ask one more person. Surely the guy couldn't be correct. I said, y'all don't have no Bloody Mary mix? And she goes, no, I'm sorry. And she make up some kind of excuse. I can't remember what the excuse was, but
They don't sell Bloody Marys during the week.
during the week?
That's what they...
It was the weekend, wasn't it?
No, we were there during the week.
Oh, yeah, it was Thursday.
Yeah.
God dang, I thought it was a weekend. But I'm just thinking, man, what kind of... Anyway, so we had another wonderful meal at the Honor Bar.
Yes, we did.
And I don't even think we drank. We didn't.
No. Water.
On the rocks. So then we decided, okay, let's get back in the car. Let's go riding around. And all of a sudden, Kristen says, what about the Four Seasons? It's on the water. We almost stayed there. They got a bar. Drive over there. All of a sudden, bam, we got lucky. There's the Four Seasons. Park out right there on the front of the beach.
Yeah, it was very, very convenient.
Dogs out there running around, people out there enjoying the outdoors, a jet ski out there riding across the waves. And it was just a beautiful day. A beautiful day for Bloody Mary. We parked the car. I used the electronic key fob to electronically lock the vehicle, and we strolled right into the Four Seasons, sat down at the bar. view of the ocean. Waitress comes around. Can I help you? Yep, we'll take 2 Bloody Marys and a Grey Goose. Okay, I'll be right back. The lady comes back promptly with 2 Bloody Marys, a Grey Goose, a celery stalk.
It was a gigantic
couple of
celery
olives.
stalk.
I mean, I had like you had so much stuff crammed in there. By the time you took the celery and all the BS out of there's about 2 ounces of liquid.
Yeah.
And then when you drank it, I took a sip of that damn drink. Now, I'm very critical of a Bloody Mary.
Well, you make a good Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I thank you. I make a good Bloody Mary. I know what a good one and a bad one is. I mean, you can get on an airline flight and just use Mr. and Mrs. T's and vodka.
That's pretty darn good, yeah.
And, that's pretty damn good. This Bloody Mary wasn't even in the ballpark of Mr. and Mrs. T's and just straight up vodka. I mean, low-end vodka.
Yeah.
They could have used low-end vodka, high-end vodka. The Bloody Mary recipe that they had was the drizzling shits. It's family-friendly, but god dang, it was bad. You can't go nowhere into Santa Barbara / Montecito and get a Bloody Mary. Now, I got to call foul on that, Kristen. As world-class as I thought it was.
Well, next time we'll bring our own.
Are you damn right? Because I ain't depending on them. Anyway, I'm coming right back. I'm going to tell a story about my wife almost killing a bunny rabbit with a horseshoe. Yeah, she almost killed a bunny rabbit with a horseshoe. I'm shooting a breeze at 317 Gimmick Street, coffeeed up out of my mind, fixing to have a damn hellacious chest and tricep workout. But we're going to take a pause for the cause from the sponsors to keep the show on the air twice a week for free. I'm making audio whoop-ass with my illustrious wife, Kristen, coming back with horseshoes and rabbits. If you're in the market for a car, then you need to check out TrueCar. TrueCar gives you the price and information you need to feel confident about your purchase. When you register with TrueCar, you'll see what other people in your local area paid for the car you want. And from there, you can connect with a local TrueCar certified dealer and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. TrueCar shows you real pricing on actual inventory, so you see competitive pricing offered to you by TrueCar certified dealers for vehicles that are actually on their lots. And you'll also see all the dealer incentives before you get to the lot, so you can feel confident about the price when you show up. TrueCar makes car buying easy, no matter if you're looking for a brand new or used vehicle. And the stats don't lie. Over 3 million cars have been sold to TrueCar users by the TrueCar certified dealer network. There are over 13,000 dealers in that network with some 700,000 pre-owned vehicles available. So do yourself a favor and go to TrueCar for your next car buying experience. TrueCar doesn't just make the process easier, it'll also save you some money. TrueCar users save an average of over $3,000 off MSRP. So when you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a better car buying experience. Some features not available in all states.
Hey guys, this is Chael Son, and make sure you check out my podcast, You're Welcome. We talk about MMA, we talk about professional wrestling, politics, anything you need to know about today's top issues so that you can sound intelligent, and you get them all from me, your humble host, America's favorite gangster. Make sure you check me out. You're Welcome with Chael Son, and new episodes every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at PodcastOne app, Apple Podcasts, and of course, PodcastOne.com.
The Steve Austin Show. The Steve Austin Show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for supporting the sponsors that keep this show on the air twice a week for free. I'm sitting there talking with my wife about our vacation. Hell, Kristen, where you want to set this thing up? We kind of covered some of the highlights and shenanigans as far as trying to acquire some alcohol on our trip. Set me up here, and we will go from there. Take it away.
Well, we left our quaint room. We took a walk around.
Stop. Tell me about the quaint room.
Well,
how did that come to be? You were booking it.
I booked the room, and I called the lady because it said 800 square feet. I thought, that's about the size of my house.
That's a big-ass damn room.
Yeah. Well, she said, well, it's one of our quaint rooms. And I said, quaint? She said, on the smaller side. I'm thinking 800 square feet? So when we got there, it was not 800 square feet. The bedroom and the bathroom are maybe 240 square feet, and the other square footage was on the decks, and they included that in the
Hell, I walk in this damn room. It's a freestanding structure. You can stay in a normal hotel with everybody else. I think got some bigger rooms, but
These were like the cottages.
These are cottages. They got privacy. You got your own private hot tub. I ain't a hot tub kind of guy, but the way they had it landscaped and gardened, man, you could have all the windows open and people couldn't see in.
Right.
The privacy factor was really, really cool. As far as the quaint factor, I don't know about quaint, but that sumbitch was little. I walked in, I was like, God dang, this is smaller than one of our guest bedrooms in our house. It was about 10 steps across and about 10 steps long.
And it was full of antiques.
I wouldn't even call them antiques. It was full of, well, I'll be generous. Call them collectibles.
Okay.
What was that thing we was watching on TV the other day? The guy took a thing.
The Hummels.
The Hummels, yeah. Friggin', what's his name?
O'Bannon.
Eric O'Bannon took the Hummel to go get the gimmick
Pawn
out of
shop.
Yeah, the pawn shop. And there was a bunch of Hummels in the room. Holy smokes, I walked in there and sneezed and blew up every window shade. That's how small this damn room was. And I ain't going to tell you how much we paid for that sumbitch, but it was expensive.
Yes, it was.
And I was expecting 800 square feet, which was going to be worth the money that we was paying. I ain't even got enough room to turn around. That's how small the room was.
It was small.
Now, the compound that you had, because you could go out on the back deck, you could get in the hot tub, there was another private patio area. It was phenomenal for what it was.
Yeah.
And the whole compound might have been 800 square feet.
Right.
But when you're inside,
I guess I should have read it better, the description.
Well, I wish you would have too, because I'll tell you what, I thought I was going in for an MRI. I got in the damn bed and said, I'm going to need a Xanax and a Bloody Mary, and I can't get one here. Holy smokes, that room was a shocker. I told Kristen, I said, man, get on the phone and get us a bigger room. And, you know, they go out there and they got this little, it's like a chalkboard, except you slide in these letters.
Oh, yeah.
And they spell out the name of the guest that's occupying the I would say cabin, but it's only a So there was our name on the side of the building.
It was our cottage.
Austin. That was our cottage. Holy smokes. It was like the dude in Jaws, Roy Scheider. His big old Jaws comes up. He goes, we're going to need a bigger boat. I got in that room. I like, we're going to need a bigger room. Anyway.
It was fine.
We stayed in the room, but holy smokes, I think it was a little tight.
Well, that's why we went out and took a walk to see the grounds. We walked up to the pool, and then we saw the cornhole game, and we saw horseshoes. We saw croquet, if that's how you say it. And then we saw the putting green.
So me being the competitive professional athlete that I am, threw down the gauntlet right there. I said, hey, let's go. You and me right here, right now. So we lined up. We was going to square off in a head-to-head game of cornhole. We was playing the 10. I don't know what you're supposed to play 2 on cornhole. We was making up our own rules.
Right.
So, god dang, you know, I got this bad arm over here. I just had my rotator cuff fixed.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I got to make up some excuses. My right arm don't straighten up all the way. Anyway, we started launching them sandbags over to that hole on the other side, and I think I made like my second throw, and I'm thinking, man, I am taking her to the cleaners.
That's
on
what
this
I
thought. All of a sudden, every bag my wife threw went in the damn hole. I mean, it was like nothing but net. I'm thinking, God dang it, she opened up about a 4-1 lead on me, and I was trying to make a comeback, and then she sinks a couple more, and it's like 7-2. We're playing the 10. I'm like, come on, dude, rally cap. You got to do something here. And then all of a sudden, my wife, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I wish I'd never played with her because she just smokes my ass. Is she chewing up the cords?
Yeah.
Anyway, I got taken to the cleaners on cornhole. It was quite embarrassing. I will say you were humble in your victory over
But I'm
me.
very competitive as well, so I was sort of kind of very proud of myself for winning.
You were very proud of yourself in a very classy way.
Thank you.
So, okay, and to that point, I was very humble in my defeat. I didn't sit there and mope about it. I didn't get hot. We shook hands, and I immediately thought about getting revenge.
Yes, you did.
So I said, let's head to the putting green. So?
No, we went to the horseshoes next.
Was it horseshoes?
Yes, it was right next to the cornhole.
Oh, yeah, we got the horseshoes. And then I looked at the horseshoe range, and I was like, you know, when you play horseshoes, you got a metal stake in the ground at each end. And then you stand and you throw the horseshoes over at the damn gimmick thing in the ground.
Right.
And I was thinking, man, I played a lot of horseshoes in my life, but for some reason, these fancy people up here that's a long ways to throw a horseshoe.
It was a long distance.
Well, hell, me and my wife looked at it for about 5 minutes, and we were scratching our head. We must look like a couple of rednecks out there.
Well, after we threw a couple and we could barely get to the other side.
There was a big boulder in the middle, and that's where you threw from. So after we figured out you didn't have to throw the horseshoe that 40 yards that was between the posts, and we figured out the system, we commenced to playing horseshoes. I threw about 2 horseshoes. We're warming up. My wife grabs one. She's going to wing it. We can't find all the horseshoes. My wife wings one horseshoe, heaves it up in the air. It was like the Bionic Man. The horseshoe was flying in the air, and it happened like slow motion. All of a sudden, out of the shrubbery, out of all the flowers, the lilacs, the dandelions, and all the beautiful landscaping, appears a little baby cottontail rabbit. And Krista's horseshoe is screaming through the air and misses the cottontail rabbit by about an inch, and that's a true story. And I'm thinking, we just got out here. We're trying to have a good time, and Krista's going to kill a goddamn cottontail rabbit. We got to put that thing in a kettle of stew. What are we going to do, kill it and throw it in the shrubs?
There were a lot of rabbits there.
Walk over to the cook. Hey, man, we was playing horseshoes to kill this thing. Thought you might want to cook it for dinner for one of the guests. You can see the chef out there. And on a very rare special we have tonight here, we have the sautéed rabbit, freshly killed on a game of horseshoes by a visitor from Marina Del Rey, California. Served on a platter with... Anyway, god dang, the reason we didn't continue in horseshoes because there weren't enough horseshoes.
No, there weren't.
And so I said, forget about this. We'll go over to the putting green, and that's where I'm going to get even with you.
Yep.
We got on the clubs, started putting around, and I was able to even the score with you 1-1.
Yes, you were.
And that's when, what was the next game we were going to play? Because that's when we decided to stop playing, and it was time to go eat dinner because that way neither one of us had to win. But you won the first round, I won the second round, so we both felt good about ourselves.
Yeah, we were even.
So, but I'll tell you what, man, that little baby cottontail rabbit, here's the thing. Like, ever since I sold, or we sold, because I sold my half the ranch and Kristen sold hers in a joint sale together. You know, back in the day, I wasn't much on feeding alligator, but Ted Fowler, 361, used to feed the hell out of him. And so he'd normally go out there with a 410 shotgun or a 22 or something and take a cottontail rabbit and go feed him to alligator. And so it was nice to just be able to go out there and look at everything and enjoy it for how beautiful it was. And I'm thinking, okay, that little baby rabbit's got an expiration date. Probably tomorrow I'm going to shoot him and feed him to alligator. It was nice to see wildlife and not have to worry about extracting its life.
Right.
And I saw a couple of deer up there. I didn't think we was going to see a couple of deer. That was cool. Everything was cool.
Yeah.
But as cool as everything was, Kristen, it was time to go eat. And I said, you know what? Let's just go over and find the restaurant first.
Yeah.
And let's just kind of check it out. Maybe we'll just have a drink. So we walked in, and the bar was in the restaurant, and everybody was dressed to the nines.
We were in my sweatpants, and you were in your
I got camouflage shorts. I got a camouflage shirt on, a pair of tennis shoes. I looked like hell. And we belly up to the bar. It's a nice establishment.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, they got Blanton's. I have a Blanton's on the rock. What'd you get, a Pinot?
I got gosh, what did I have?
You had another glass of wine.
I had a very nice glass of
So
wine.
before you know it,
Yeah.
we decided, should we go get dressed up and come back down? I'm like, hell, I don't care what I look like. I'm fine just sitting here and ordering like this.
Well, I wouldn't put a pair of pants on because I didn't want to be in sweatpants in a nice restaurant.
And Kristen was concerned. She wanted to try to keep up with the Joneses over there.
Yeah.
You got a little bit glammed up.
I didn't get glammed up.
Well, you wouldn't got cleaned up.
Okay.
That's cool because, you had your, what we would call here in the house, your comfy cozies on.
Right.
We used to walk around on the property like that.
Right.
It looked like we didn't belong. It was a little uppity over there. It was different.
Yeah,
it was different. And then we decided to sit down and order food.
And they actually had a vegetarian meal.
Yeah.
Menu, actually, a whole menu.
Well, it was really interesting because we went outside to the restaurant and they had these placeholders, kind of like a, what do you call it, a placemat?
It was like a placemat, but it was really a plate.
But it was made out of, it was like a ceramic material with like a gold moon and a blue star. And anyway, it was like a plate. And it looked like something that you would tell someone's fortune with. And the lady came up to take our order to see if we wanted to drink. And I was already in full comedy mode. I said, I'm about to read your fortune, because of the damn plates. It was the damnedest gimmick thing I ever saw in my life.
Yeah, they were like placemats, but they were place plates.
Anyway, those didn't last long. I used to throw the discus in high school, so I picked one up and winged it across. No, I didn't pick anything up. We had dinner there.
Yeah, it was a very nice dinner. We had great meals on this vacation.
I will say this. We finished dinner, and then we went our merry way back to the cottage. And we got up the next day, and then we were going to eat breakfast. Because, like I said, the restaurant will open up in the morning, and it shuts down.
We want to be sure to get in there and get our breakfast.
Don't miss breakfast, because the damn restaurants ain't going to open up again until 5 or 6 p.m. So we got to breakfast. All of a sudden, man, my wife and I drink coffee, lots of it. Our coffee mugs here at 316 Gimmick Street, I used a measuring cup, Kristen. Those things hold 18 ounces each. Now, we don't drink that much, but that's how much
No,
they
but
hold.
I drink 13 ounces per cup.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but that's how big our mugs are.
Right.
So all of a sudden, man, the person comes over, and y'all want coffee? Yep, we want coffee. Here he comes with a little bit teeny damn coffee cups. It's like, and he pours a little coffee in, and he pours a little coffee in Kristen's cup, and I'm thinking, what in the F? Are you ribbing me? Seriously? Because we've all had these little cups before.
There's
When you
no
go to the
point
little
in
gimmick restaurant, there's no point in them. Hey,
2 sips.
I'm a little, I'm not hungover. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood, but it's morning. I need caffeine to wake up and function. And now all of a sudden, I mean, it's almost like you pissed me off by bringing this little coffee cup, because 2 sips later, I need to be winging you back over here to put some more coffee in there.
Yeah, we did that, 5 times?
Yeah, and then by the time you add a little bit of milk to the summit, it's already cold.
Yeah.
So, man, I thought we was going to wear that guy out. If he had pedometers on, we'd probably run got 6 miles out of his ass.
Well, next time we're going to bring our Yeti.
So we get all coffeeed up, have a great breakfast. The breakfast was phenomenal.
It was.
Again, I put over the establishment that we stayed at. So, of course, my wife, being the outdoors woman that she is, back in her formative years, used to do a lot of hiking all over Malibu, just all over California in general. She likes to hike with her dogs. Well, me, I ain't much of a hiker, but, I ain't going to go back. I ain't going to play horseshoes because I ain't got enough of those. I'm done with golf. We played a time or two after that. Don't want to play anything else, so there wasn't else to do. You can't start drinking right after lunch. I mean, you can, but we didn't.
Well, there wasn't much to do, so we went. They have beautiful hiking.
So we go on this hike, but the first hike was kind of short. We went up there, and it was about a mile and a half. We came on back down. It was a pretty good little walk, going up an incline and all that. And then she said, okay, let's take this route over here. My wife is like a Garmin GPS device. And so we got to take the trail less traveled. And this is a pretty damn hairy trail here. And we passed this lady. And the one lady had a damn
baby.
One of those holsters on with the baby on her front side and 2 dogs.
Yeah, and she was on the phone.
She was on the phone. She was multitasking.
Yes, she was.
Walking her dogs, taking her kid on a stroll, and taking care of business on the telephone. And so anyway, we go across this one. We decided to hang a left. And we're going to cross a stream.
Right.
So there I am, right before we left the house on our vacation. My wife had just ordered a brand new pair of sneakers for me, a brand new pair of tennis shoes. And I had been wearing these other ones for a couple of years. They were dirty, they looked like hell. And all of a sudden we're going to this nice resort for our vacation. So she goes, don't you want to wear your new shoes? I'm like, yeah, it'd be cool to wear my new shoes. And so problem is, I only brought a pair of flip-flops and a pair of shoes. And so we get out on the hike. I'm doing pretty damn good. And all of a sudden, I'm trying to cross this stream.
Well, you picked the rocks that were wet. to stand on. You can't stand on wet rocks to cross a stream, and they're wobbly.
If there's one thing I can't stand is when you get a new pair of tennis shoes and you get that first scuff on them, or just like on our trip, because I only brought one pair of shoes, all of a sudden I get on a slippery rock and zip, zip. I didn't bust my ass and fall down. I just fell down in about 1 foot of water, and I'm standing there. And there's no use in just jumping out of the creek because I've already got my shoes wet.
Yeah.
I can't walk on water like Jesus Christ, so I'm sitting there like a schmuck ruining my damn new tennis shoes. And I'm not ruining them. They're brand new. I don't want them to get wet.
Right, and you only have one pair of shoes.
Only got one pair. The rest of the day I'm going to walk around like an idiot in wet tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Or a piece of white trash with flip-flops on in a 5-star resort while the damn restaurants are closed down. So anyway, I simmered it down. I didn't get all wound up about it, and we walked back to the cottage. And I'll be damned if they didn't have a world-class hair dryer in there, folded up in a little velvet bag. And I said, well, I don't know what the wattage is on this sumbitch, but I'm going to give her a go. I unfolded the hair dryer, pulled the inserts out of my damn brand-new tennis shoes, and hell, I'll be damned if about 5 minutes later my tennis shoes wasn't as brand new as they were when I ordered them. Like I never fell in the creek.
Right.
God dang that thing. I'll tell you what, if you would have used that hair dryer, Kristen, it might have just burned all your hair off. That's how hot that summit was. Shout out. I think it was a Conair. Not looking for an endorsement, but that summit with high horsepower. If I could have used that to blow trash over at the Broken Skull Ranch.
You could have.
That's how powerful that summit was. Shout out. So there I was. I recouped, regained my composure, and from that point on, I was not interested in hiking anymore.
No, you weren't.
That's the thing with that resort. I mean, if you wasn't hiking, I mean, they had the little entertainment area that you and I did. There wasn't nothing else to do.
Yeah, there was.
Because it wasn't really swimming season up there because it was overcast. It's June gloom here. It's not like there was a whole lot of people congregating to the swimming pool. And they didn't even have a bartender over there. But it wasn't like going to Palm Desert.
Right.
I mean, you go to Palm Desert or Palm Springs when you're out here in Cali, man, they got somebody shuttling drinks from every direction you can see. Out here, not so fast.
Well, we wanted to go antique shopping.
Well, again, and I covered the antique shopping because you couldn't find anything past the 70s.
Right.
But it was ridiculous because all of a sudden we got all this time on our hands and we're trying to relax and we didn't find nothing to do.
No. So we played games.
Yeah, but they weren't the funnest kind of games.
I know.
It would have been cool to go to a shooting range or do something a little bit more fun-oriented. Oh, hang on, Kristen. Well, before I get all wound up here, I got to go back to the putting green. Man, we were out there shooting the breeze and playing putt-putt golf. It wasn't putt-putt, but we was on a little golf course, a little putting green. And unbeknownst to me, Kristen takes a picture of me putting the ball in the hole. And she sends it to me to my phone. So I post it to my Instagram account, Steve Austin BSR. And I said, golf lessons, cheap, 1-800-555-1212. It's just a picture of me putting a damn golf ball. I had about 353 replies.
It was a rib.
It was a rib. I can't teach nobody how to play golf. People were actually calling the phone number. They said they got a hold of some Russian lady when she was mad as hell. I called that damn number just to make sure. It just goes to a voicemail of a corporate center that you can do different things from. It wasn't no lady or nobody answered that damn phone.
Well, people were very upset.
But people actually called the number thinking they were going to get a golf lesson from Steve Austin. First of all, you'd be better off not learning how to play golf from me. And second of all, or even first of all, it was a rib. Never call a 555-1212 area code. Never, take it back, Stacey. Never call a 555-1212 number. Ever.
Well, any number that starts 555, it's like on the movies,
But it was a joke. Holy smokes. You know what? And then the thing about it is, like, we're there for what, 2 nights?
2 nights.
And then
and we were going to go take a nice leisurely hike the next morning on the day of our departure. But we both got up at the crack of dawn, got dressed, and said, let's go home.
Man,
a leisurely drive home.
And then on the leisurely drive home, I was going 87 because I knew better than to go 90, and I'd get shut down by the governor over here. So, man, we got back to Los Angeles, lickety split, right in time for the weekend because we got home on a Friday, turned into the weekend, and now here we're sitting there on the damn podcast. And it's almost like as I look back, doing some of the other business that we had to do over the weekend and some of the stuff that you did today, it was almost a waste of time.
It was not.
It wasn't?
No, it's good. We have to start practicing that.
Practicing going on vacation.
Right.
Boy, I'm going to need a lot of getting used to this stuff. I'll tell you what, when I got out of business of pro wrestling many years ago, I retired for 3 years. I didn't do anything but hunt, fish, drink, do stupid stuff. And I was able to do that for 3 years. But these vacations, I'm going to have to get used to that.
Yeah, it is a little bit much.
I'm looking forward to the Broken Skull Challenge starting in end of July. I've been talking about here on the podcast, trying to get all these people to, come forth and be a part of the show. This time, I got a challenge for you, Kristen. I've been filming that show for a couple of years now. I got a huge trailer out there with 4 slides. It's like a compound. It's the Broken Skull Challenge compound, and it's about 20 times bigger than that room we stayed in at that resort. So I'd like to invite you to come out there while we're filming, and you can stay out there with me for a week with the dogs. And that'll be like a vacation. I got the Kawasaki mules, all 3 of them on standby to ride on the entire mountain range. I can set up some horseshoes. I can do anything you want out there. And the sunsets are absolutely beautiful.
That trailer will get really small with me and the dogs in there.
I'm just saying, we always try to do things as a family unit. We got to be able to enjoy things. You got to make hay while the sun shines. You got to get your shit in. So I'm inviting you out to the compound, and I'm going to keep talking about it on the podcast, see if you come out. How come you keep kayfabing me going out there? You love to camp.
I do, but you're working, and I'm just going to sit inside that camper.
No, you can take a Kawasaki mule. You can go riding around. It got satellite TV. I got internet. I got everything that you got right here out there.
Yeah, but you're working, so it's not really a vacation.
You're glad when I go out there anyway. That's why you don't come out there.
I guess.
How about a little support up in this mug?
I make your meals.
I'm not talking about you making my meals. I'm talking about it. You and I spending time together.
On the weekends when you come home.
I come home for a day and a half. I come home on Friday evenings, and I leave on Sunday evenings so I can be ready for the day, making sure I got all the challenges down. We got a bunch of new stuff going on. The Skull Buster's going to be bigger, badder, and nastier than ever. So I always got homework to do, Kristen. I just, I got to get back out there. But if you come out there, we can hang out while we're filming.
I'll come visit.
You ain't saying nothing. You ain't coming out there. Hey, you got anything you want to promote, talk about on the podcast before we ride off in the sunset?
I don't really have anything to promote, Steve.
Well, you can promote the Broken Skull Knife for the Working Man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, or the Broken Skull IPA.
All 3?
Hey, we've got to talk to Brian Bentley. I want to put the Kawasaki commercials on the website.
Yep.
Will you remind me to do that?
Yes, I will.
Okay, Kristen, I think that kind of sums up our vacation. It was bits and pieces, and I got some of the things out of order, but I got 2 questions for you.
All right.
Okay, everybody knows that we're trying to find Broken Skull Ranch 2.0.
Correct.
So how have we been doing in your mind as far as where we're looking and what we're looking at?
Well,
Are we making any progress?
We haven't made any no, we have made progress because we're looking at areas that we like, but some of these areas are so expensive. So
Well, they're too damn expensive.
yeah, and we don't want to spend a lot of money.
No.
So yeah, we just need to keep exploring areas, and during this exploration, we could take a vacation while we're looking into these new areas.
But we're looking in California, we're looking in Nevada,
Yep.
We're still considering someplace in Texas, but I don't know where in Texas because anywhere you go in Texas is still a minimum of 800 miles.
Right.
Trying to find something closer. I'd like to find something within 200 miles of here. The thing about being within 200 miles of here means you're still in California. California is a great state, but I'd like to have a property in another state to go to.
Yeah.
Just because.
Well, and I like to be closer to my brother in Nevada, and my nieces.
I tell you what, I still got a little bit of Texas pulling at me too. I know South Texas is too far, but that's something to consider. But we are looking.
We are.
We are looking.
Yeah.
But, God dang, when you sell a place, It's just
Well, now that we kind of got the remodel past us or behind us, whatever, we have more time on our hands to start thinking about other things.
yeah. But like I said, man, I'm getting tired of this concrete jungle. Now we're going to be here for a little bit of time, but I do want to find another place to hang our hat and actually do some work that's doable and not have so much acreage to maintain.
Right.
I still want a place to get away and get a breath of fresh air.
Well, and all the properties that we do look at have these gigantic homes on them, and we don't want a big home.
No, we want a small house, 1,100, 1,200, 1,500 square feet, 2,000 most. I don't need a mansion. We don't need a mansion. We just want a place to get to.
Every house is like 5,000 plus square feet.
And I think that's why they sell them, because they're too tired of maintaining
Right,
the damn
exactly,
things.
exactly.
So, last thing I want to ask you about Bloodline. I talked about it a little bit on the open. I had to get your opinion. Well, we can go spoilers here. Season 3, and I already told everybody we rewatched Season 2, so we remember everything that went on. And man, we saw a lot of stuff that we didn't remember.
Right.
And then going into Season 3, tonight we're going to try to get in Episode 6. We got the NBA Finals, is Game 5, Cavs versus Golden State. So we'll see how that wraps up, or if it wraps up, and try to get an episode in. What are your impressions into Season 3 going into Episode 6?
It is absolutely chaotic. I'm really enjoying it. And, you know, the characters they do such a great job at making you feel what they're feeling. So it's just, I'm anxious watching it while I'm watching them, you know? So the storyline's great.
God dang, man, that guy, Kevin, holy smokes. You talk about a piece of work. That guy, everybody in that thing is phenomenal.
Everybody.
But when you're watching Kevin, you need a drink.
all
so
they
does
do
he.
is drink. They all drink so much.
Man, I tell you what, that show, that would have been a show I would have liked to have been a part of. And I've been hearing mixed reviews on Twitter. Sorry about all the breathing. All the
That's
dogs just
Hershey
walked
again.
in here. I heard some people talk about Season 3. They said it just wasn't as good as Season 2. So far, 5 episodes in, it is.
For us.
Everything is shifted, though.
Yeah.
The way they shoot it is a little bit different. The
Yeah.
storytelling's a little bit different, but it's funky, and the shit's about to hit the fan. We're waiting. We got, how many episodes do we have left?
5 left. 5 or 4 left. Yeah.
Something like that,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to getting to the finish, and I heard some people say they didn't like the last 2 episodes, so stay tuned. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I've spoiled it before by talking about things with Ted Fowler 361 and other subject matters, so I won't give any spoilers, but again, when you listen to my close, I'm going to recommend that you watch Bloodline. Awesome acting across the chart from everybody involved, and what a damn storyline, and a damn train wreck at Season 3. If it just peters out, maybe it does, but right now I'm totally engulfed in it.
Right.
Thanks for doing the podcast.
You're welcome.
I love the vacation. I can't wait for you to plan another exciting extravaganza. I can't wait for you to plan another extravaganza, but this time I will look and make damn sure the room is bigger than this podcast table and that the restaurant is open 24/7 or at least 18 hours of the day.
We should have stayed at a hotel or Hilton Express or something.
Hey, anything. A Motel 6 was better than that. All right, everybody, give me the go-home cues. Time to wrap up this podcast and ride off into the sunset. I want to thank you guys for hitting the download button and listening to the show, and I want to thank my illustrious wife, Kristen, for joining me and talking about our quote-unquote vacation. Hey, and as much as I talked about Bloodline in the open of this show, it's time for my video of the week. Some of you people have been on the fence, wondering, hey, should I watch Bloodline or not? Maybe it's too slow for me. Maybe it's a little bit boring. Hey, God dang, I really enjoyed it. I am on Season 3. We'll watch Episode 6 tonight. We've got to watch the NBA Finals first, see what happens there. Check out Bloodline. I think it's a damn good show. Hey, there's a new season of Broken Skull Challenge coming up, just like I talked about in the open of the show. That means I'm going to be having a bunch of new badass shirts coming to ProWrestlingTees.com/Steve Austin. We're working on the new designs now so I can wear them during the filming, and that's going to start, give or take, around July 21st. So if you want to sign up for this show and come out and be a part of it, sign up now. Go to CMT.com. And, hey, man, when I talk about the Broken Skull Challenge, I get thirsty. When I get thirsty, I think about my beer, Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. You can get it in Los Angeles at Whole Foods and Total Wines if you live in California. And if you don't live in California, go to InsideTheCellar.com and order Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. And anything Steve Austin related, you can find at my website, BrokenSkullRanch.com. I will put the Kawasaki commercials on there so you can check those out there. Also, you can find information on the Cold Steel Broken Skull knife and the Cold Steel Working Man's knife. And don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Steve Austin BSR. Do not forget, starting this Thursday, I'll be doing a segment with Wade Keller from the Pro Wrestling Torch. Just a quick summary of what's going on in the business of professional wrestling, starting this Thursday on the Steve Austin Show. I want to thank you guys for supporting all the fine sponsors of the Steve Austin Show. It's how I'm able to do this podcast for you twice a week for free. And you can find all my sponsors at PodcastOne.com. Just click on the Killer Deals button at the top of the page and then click on the Steve Austin Show banner. Hey, folks, the 60-second AP News headlines are coming up next. Until then, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.